the day to you in your dreams. This is super exciting.
You're like in a shadow. I need to get there. Maybe I need to move back more.
Oh, is that it? Is that better?
Yeah, look how little my head looks. Anywho,
You like it when your head looks really
That's
teeny
true.
weeny, so
better
it's okay.
better than giant.
Before we even start today, I think this truly builds in or marries. I don't even know the wordage I'm looking for or the verbiage either. But yesterday something happened that was huge, and my hubby, he is a man. So I want you to understand those
Tough cookie.
tough, and they can handle everything and anything. Oh my gosh, he screams out, and I knew it was not a good scream. So I go running, and he is in severe pain, like we need to go to the hospital now, sort of thing. I knew instinctually to run to tell Charles. I call her Charles, her last name. Why? Because I just felt for some reason, in case he passes out or something happens in the vehicle, I need an extra person there, because I just knew I couldn't drive and panic and think of things all at the same time. So I just think, for even how dreams are hard. Oh, it does build in, because you see, he is my rock. He is part of how this helped the dream to move forward. And it has been a hard journey, but it's been the most wonderful journey in life. But it's because, having that additional support, someone who believes in you to allow you to still be free to who it is that you are and help you to build that dream, whoever that might be in your life. But another shout out as well is we had a beautiful human. You want to, like, seriously?
It was like Panicville, and we were waiting for an ambulance because we had to meet an ambulance on the highway instead of driving all the way in, because the pain was just too much. So we had called the ambulance, and we were only on the phone for 28 minutes. It was 74 hours. It was so long. We were waiting, and poor Sid was just, where is it? When's it coming? And the first young man stopped by, and he said, "Are you guys okay?" I said, "Yeah, we're waiting for an ambulance."
16-year-old, I swear.
Just a young,
beautiful human man.
And just stopped to see if we were okay, and just, wish you all the luck, that kind of thing. And he went along the way. And then a few minutes later, another man comes by in a truck, and he says, "Is everybody okay here?" I said, "We're actually waiting for an ambulance." He's like, "Is there anything I can do to help? I'm a medic." Holy yes, sir, please come here, help us. And it's funny, even the relief on Sid's face when he saw this fellow, because he says, "I'm a medic," and introduced, like, Sid was probably like, finally someone who knows what they're doing.
Yeah, because we are not knowing what to do with this person.
Yeah, you don't know how to help, right? It's a helpless feeling. So this beautiful man stopped, and he had actually driven past us, and something in him said, "I'm going to go turn around and check on those people." And he did. And having that man there was like a life force. It was just so beautiful. It gave us both the opportunity to breathe for a second, Sid to feel better, that there was help. And it was so beautiful that, in all the state of the world that we've had for the past few years, where there's been difference of opinions, clashes amongst people who have lost friends and family for just having a different thought process, there was none of that. It was one human coming to help other humans and just showing up. Beautiful. And it was honestly such a fulfilling piece, like that revitalization in the human race.
Yeah.
That we sometimes need. That this guy, Grant, what's his name?
Yeah,
right.
His name was Grant.
And he stopped. And Grant, if you're out there and you hear us,
thank you, sir.
All the love. You are an angel sent from heaven, because you truly did make everything in that moment 1,000 times better than it was previously.
It was, seriously.
Yeah. So every once in a while, there's those good people that show up that reinstill your faith.
Yeah. So we thought that would be a good little start. Feel good. Hubby, just so you know, is still in the hospital, but he is doing very well. And his pain, well, they got him dripping with the morphine. So he doing very, very good right now.
Yes. Mucho better. The pain is down.
That's
a good thing.
So now we'll head into, dreams are hard. And I think that's the key piece in understanding when you're going for that dream, and it's a dream because why? You think about it all the time. You stay awake, like you're so filled with this burning desire of passion to do this purposeful thing on earth that you can do, whether anyone else believes in you or not. You want to do something in it. But dreams are hard, and I think that's a key component in understanding when we go forth. We got to know what we're going to be up against, because the dream will keep you flowing through, guaranteed, hands down. of course, knowing how the steps are, having some support backing you. But it's so important if you go into it understanding those right pieces, it helps you to move through those hard pieces. Because if everybody got their dream coming true, well, first of all, it'd be a pretty boring world because, oh, I get what I want. Oh, I get what I want. Nobody just gets what they want. And dreams, people, well, the Olympians, they work their asses off.
Yeah.
And we do too as entrepreneurs to be able to make this dream come true. But it's so worth it.
So before we get into the nitty gritty of all this, we'll do our regular old stuff here. So that first piece that we always do is the hashtag
Holy jumping tuna fish, which was yesterday.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That was an all kind of new tuna fish. But it really is, if you hear something today that knocks your socks off, that makes you think in a different way, something you want to hear more about, throw in that hashtag holy jumping tuna fish for us, because it lets us know if we're hitting the mark on what you guys want to hear about as well. And speaking of you guys, please let us know who you are and where you're from.
Yes.
It's very nice. Like we can see little numbers, but we really like to know that we're talking to people.
Yeah.
It makes us feel better.
Just give us your name right away and where you're from.
We like those
we like that.
Yes, exactly.
And it doesn't matter if you're a stalker. Like just keep coming. Keep being a part of this beautiful tribe. Because it's a good place.
A scary stalker.
Oh no, I don't think
go.
No scary stalkers are allowed.
None of you people.
At the Facebook group.
Share this out as well, because sharing is in fact caring. And at the end of the day, we want more people to know about what humans and horses can do when they come together in pure partnership. And this lovely course allows those pieces to be out there as well. And sometimes you need a little help with your dreams because they are hard and you feel like, oh, is this what I'm supposed to be doing? Should it be this hard? Yeah, because they're never easy. You got to work for what you want.
Absolutely.
And the next hashtag is that we are life changers, and we're not just talking about us. We're talking about every single one of you out there, our horses, our dogs, our cats. All of us have the opportunity to change a life for the better, just like Grant yesterday. Grant was a life changer, man.
It's kindness always. Like, how many people would just drive by
and feel that and be like, I got to turn around.
No,
oh, Grant,
so beautiful.
We love you. And a retired medic for firefighters. Yeah. Good man. So you have be like Grant, be a life changer because truly it was just so beyond lovely, and it did change our world for that moment. Absolutely. And then, of course, if you're catching this on replay, let us know who you are and where you're from as well, because again, we'll always come back and say hello to you because we like to give the shout outs.
Darn tootin' galootin'.
And then, of course, knowing who we are, of course. My name is Carolyn Charles. I'm the Director of Sales and Marketing, as well as an instructor and facilitator for the Equine Connection, the Academy of Equine Assisted Learning, Inc.
Hey, everyone. My name is Carrie Fulmack, the founder of the Equine Connection. It all started with a little seed of a dream. And now globally around the world, we help people just like you to fulfill that dream, to be able to do what it is that you're called to do, your destiny, that pure happiness that comes with what? Working with a horse on a regular basis, but literally allowing your horses to be teachers in the most outstanding certification ever, because we have the curriculum programs and the exercises that go with the certification. And our certification, number one, is the foundation, is the welfare of the horse first. So the horse is the one that's looked after, and then all these incredible exercises that come with it. And I love these objectively driven exercises because the lady who actually created it, not us, she's got the brain, Tamara, how she did it was she took all the research and how do humans actually learn? And then she took all the research in how do horses literally communicate with each other in the wild. Then she married the two to create these predictable outcomes in every exercise that's designed. And you follow the system, you follow the application to how they're designed, you will always have a result for your clients. And I have to tell you, the most humbling experience and the most beautiful thing of all is seeing a human being make a change before your very eyes, because you know how to facilitate the programs. And because the teacher is the horse and has said something to the client is empowered to make a change. Yeah. And when they make a change, that's the strength that stays with the growing power of humans moving forward in their own life, not a human telling them what to do. Humans have the answers inside, but it's the horse literally telling them. And it's It's a pretty profound business, if you will.
Yep.
Because we've been doing this since 2008. So
years,
holy, that's a holy jumping tuna fish. Boom.
Hashtag.
And we got Sky with us. I like that.
Yes.
How it
I
works.
like Sky.
That's cute.
It's Nikki. I'm listening while I'm working as usual.
Oh, I like that.
It's always good when people can take a moment, a little break, if you will, to listen to that piece about the dreams. And, even, my dream wasn't to work with horses. I actually had you told me this 16 years ago, even, I would have been like, you're cute.
What?
Yeah, that's not something I'm going to be doing. But dreams can change. And sometimes it's a thought process of what your dream was going to be. I always knew I wanted to help people. I wanted to work with people somehow doing something along those lines, but had no comprehension of what it is. It just ended up, that's how life worked out, that I ended up doing some of these things, but you got to be open to it too. And your dream can change a little bit. It can adjust, but the foundation of what it is that you want is huge. It's going to be the piece that kind of drives you forward. So as this started and I saw what the changes could be for people, that experiential learning, when people made a behavioral change, the horses responded, they could put all those pieces together for their own lives. All of a sudden it was, this is the dream. That's because if you're paying attention, the moment comes to you. And then has it been hard?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Has there always been everybody who had our backs?
Nope.
But we had each other's. Sid had our backs, and it was always something to help us move forward that way too. And even for you guys out there who are like, oh my gosh, I don't always feel like I have that support. That's kind of what being part of this family is about too, is you do have to have those like-minded people to help you move forward, because you can find the naysayers all the time. Oh, if you look for them,
those are easy to find. You didn't even have to look for naysayers.
Yep.
They exist everywhere in life. Yep. Take a look anywhere on social media. Guaranteed, hands down, you can pick them out left, right, and center. Is those odd ones that you see the kindness and the support, and you're like, oh, those are beautiful humans, right?
And Tabitha's on as well. Long time no see is right. My goodness. Yeah, she got to do the programs a few years ago. It's been years now. Hey, wow.
Yeah, years.
That happens fast.
It does. And the dream and understanding, it's hard. Think of this, if you are a person who loves working with horses and you love the work, that helps you to understand the work that's going to be involved as well, because you can't be a couch sitter being an entrepreneur. Like, you cannot be self-employed and just hope and pray business that come your way, because life just doesn't work like that.
No.
So if you are already that horse person, you're already working with your horses, every day it's work. Horses are work. And they're worth every single penny and every single thing that's worth it to have these magnificent creatures looking at you face to face.
And it's funny, when something's hard is like when it's difficult, that's when the most rewarding things come from it, right? Like even working with Kokanee now, we're trying to get him to be a little bit better with his feet for the farrier, because he likes to try to sit on the farrier as he does his feet. So we're trying to avoid that now. But we've always said we're not trainers. That's not what we're in for, but you still have to do things with your horses sometimes,
which is a training component.
Well, we've been working with Kokanee, and my goodness, yesterday, he was spot on, you guys, like on the money. And that moment, yes, it was hard. The few days before, we were sweating and everything else like that. But when that moment happens where something comes together, whether it's your first client or your horse doing something like you were hoping they were going to, the feeling of it, the accomplishment, the success is huge. It's such a rewarding piece when you go through those hard parts to make your dream happen as well.
I was thinking, picture this. A long, long time ago, I had a dream of always working with horses since I've been knee-high to a grasshopper. But my mom was a single mom, so we moved 25 times between Alberta and anywhere in Saskatchewan. At Calgary, Alberta, to be specific. So she had bought me this book from a garage sale. I still have it. 25 cents, it said, with masking tape on it. And I loved reading this book and just being a part of this horse world. She had always promised me she would get me a horse, but life just didn't work like that. She just never could afford to do it. So the dream was always there. I just didn't know what it looked like. So of course, throughout my life, I did not ever want to work for other humans, because that's just not my cup of tea. I love being self-employed. I love everything that comes along with being self-employed. Most importantly, being my own boss, because then I decide when and how I do everything. But I knew me too. I am a worker. And when you're on an acreage, when you're on a farm, you work every day, 24/7. It's a workplace. So it's part of, to me, being that entrepreneur. And it's all worth it because you get so many gratifications out of just being on your own property or being on someone else's property because you're still away from the city life. So that's kind of nice. And being with a horse. But I remember I was getting to my 40s. So probably around 38, I really started to question, Carrie, what is your purpose on this earth? Like, I mean, I know we all have purpose. I knew I've had purpose and I've had, I've affected human beings along my path. But I thought, what truly though is your purpose? So it went back right to those horses again. And then I finally came into equine assisted learning, which nobody knew back in the day when I took. Like, what the hell? Woo, woo.
People, well, even
they still equine, today,
even
when they're taking our programs and we're telling them all this stuff about horses, they're going woo until something amazing happens to them, and then they say, "We thought you were woo."
Yeah,
and we're like, yeah, we get that all the time. So it's okay, but even that process to get there and being in equine assisted learning, I did not have the setup at my place. I did not have the horses that I needed. All I knew, if this is the path that I wanted my last breath on earth to be, this was the last business I was looking for, is to wake up every day knowing I'm doing something that's really purposeful. But the bonus is I get to work with horses and smell them and be in their life, but helping a human to move forward. Because all in all, that's actually what we're all here for. Purpose on earth is to help another human. So it encompassed everything that I wanted. But let me tell you, sisters and brothers, that was no easy ride. Now, I don't stress about money either. So I'm like in the hole after 3 years, 300,000. I took from our credit lines, our credit cards, and Sid finally did say one time, again, here he's supporting me the whole time. He goes, "You do know, babe, if this thing doesn't take off soon, you're going to have to get a job." I'm like, "I know."
And we had done other little things in between.
Clean.
Clean. You had a hostessing job as
well.
Oh,
that's right, at the restaurant.
Yeah, there was lots of different things that you had to do to make it roll still. And the 300,000 included an arena.
Yeah.
That's not a typical
piece. Because so for the first 2 years, how it worked, I just wanted to get certified. So I knew the goal that I had. So I understood the business I was getting into. So I wasn't too concerned with having a facility or the horses yet. I just needed to understand what it was so that I can make my plan. Because I am a planner. I like to have everything written out and understand the goals and how you get to that step. So throughout that process, now I forgot what I was going to say with that. I forget. Obviously wasn't. So it was a 2 years. So I rented a piece of land from a lady who was EGALA certified. So she had no problem with that. So it was just a plain piece of land. It did have a fence around it. And I brought all my props and all my stuff down there. And I would have, because I got a job immediately. As soon as I got certified, I got a job, which I did not expect. I wanted 1 full year to get organized, but you just don't do that when you're self-employed.
Turn it down. Nope.
So I rented her space and I rented her horses. So I worked 5 months out of the year. Carolyn, the odd time, would come down because she wasn't living around me at that time because she was doing more of the IT stuff because I sucked at IT.
It's true. She did.
Oh, I sucked. So anywho, it worked out beautiful because 5 months out of the year, I'd run the programs. And then the other months, Carolyn and I would do more of the marketing together far away, or she'd come back to the Calgary area often. And then it wasn't until the 3rd year, that's when my honey, Sid, my rock, my everything, he said, "Why don't we put a little arena on our property?" I'm like, "What? We only have 3 acres." He goes, "Yeah, why not?" So then we put the arena up, and then we brought our own horses there, and it was just lovely. But you see, I didn't even know, here's the thing, even though it was a hard process, and you would never spend the kind of money I did. Because remember, we did it wrong to begin with because we actually didn't know the proper way to market the industry that we were in
into the wrong markets and stuff.
Yeah,
we did it all wrong.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But it was
could have saved at least $50,000 to $100,000.
Oh, easy,
and just
easy.
doing it wrong.
Yeah, exactly. And that's okay, because that's how we help all of our facilitators who come join us. We don't let you do it the wrong way, because you don't need to, but you don't even need an arena. Like, you don't need to have all the things that you think are going to be a part of it. So the dream was difficult to begin with because of the wasting of the money. Why aren't people connecting to how the humans can make changes? Like, there was something lacking in that. So here's the thing with the dream, even as we were in it too much. So what I mean by that is we couldn't see the forest through the trees anymore. We kept changing things because we couldn't understand why we just weren't getting business.
We knew what we knew, but we didn't know how to translate that to people who didn't know, right? Like, we knew everything about it.
Yeah.
We're like, this is amazing. Why wouldn't people want this? Because they don't know what the hell we're talking about. That's why they didn't want it. So we had to change things up.
We did. And it was, to me, I would never regret anything as in the money that was spent. Like, it worked for me. I sleep at night. I just think, if I died, would I really care that I'm 300 in the hole? So that's my way of thinking, because I'm like, I wouldn't care. And my family could just sell our property, right? So I don't know. I just never worried about that piece, but we hired an outside coach. So, dreams being hard to me are always like, there's always problems. So that's the problem. There's always going to be a problem, but what's the opportunity in the problem? I remember we finally got the okay from the Calgary Board of Education. Now, we were just flying high, and then boom, again, we go down. Why? We couldn't have a third-party waiver.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot that left field one.
Oh my gosh. So here we go again. Now you have another problem. After we've gone through all of this, now we have another problem. Now we had to find an insurance company that would allow this process to happen. So we did, but it did take us 6 months to actually find that, to be able to get the master agreement with the Calgary Board of Education. There's just been so many things that, get in the way of the dream. Well, I have to say the biggest one was in 2011. We are starting to finally move forward. And then my mom died, and then I lost 4 horses, and that was all in 8 weeks. And then I lost a 5th horse 6 months in, and she was away. She's still away. She lived elsewhere.
Yeah.
And every time I called her on the phone, she would always say, "No, Carrie, this horse isn't going to die.
They can't.
No,
it's not okay."
And
if they do.
They just kept dying.
They did. Yeah.
And it was sad. The vets felt very bad for me, but I didn't want anybody to feel bad for me. I just didn't like people at that time, as we're just building up, and then you have all this heart loss. So even through that horrid piece of all of the losses, I remember the one horse, Charlie, and he was bleeding out, and I had to call the vet. So the vet came, and anyway, they put Charlie down, but it took a long time because of how his body was obviously functioning with the bleeding out. So after they had left, and the truck came to pick up Charlie, it hit me that there is blood all over the ground. I have dogs. And then with all of the shots that they gave to Charlie, would that affect the dog? So I called the vets, and they said, yes, it would. Well, thanks for letting me know, because I'm bawling my face off. I call in the dogs. I remember pulling out 300 feet of hose so that I could water all of the blood away. And I remember it was doing a light rain that day, and I just yelled up at God. I'm like, seriously, if this is how you're trying to tell me not to do this business, this is the worst way ever. This is horrible. This is my heart. And I don't ever know exactly what happened. He didn't strike me down with lightning or anything. But, I had the answer that, Carrie, what are you made of? How do you move through all of this loss? How do you still gain momentum to make this dream come true? And then we did start, Carolyn got to move back. And I think that was a big thing too.
It helped.
Because then she became certified, and together we went through it. It probably took me about a year to get over my loss pain, though.
It was a full year until I heard you laugh the same on the front deck.
Yeah, that's right. You said that.
I will always remember it because you laughed the same, like a good hearty laugh. And I was like, there it is. Yeah, there it is.
And it's not to me that you ever get over your loss. No. You just learn how to move forward and still have the loss. That's personally how I feel, because mom is still.
It's a blessing, though.
Yeah,
that's how you know you
lovely.
always have them.
Yeah,
is that you still feel the hurt that they're gone. Humans, horses, all of the losses that we have in our lives, you still feel it all.
Yep.
Because can you imagine if one day you were okay with the fact that she was gone? That's worse, right?
Yeah. I agree with you. I agree.
Having that piece, just how do you move forward without them in the same way, and figuring out that piece in your life too.
And then when the world changed,
that was another one. Yeah.
Woo! It's like, here we go again.
And there was others in between too.
In between. And then I have to say that, like, there's always something, but there's always opportunity in anything that you would say, this is my problem. And I think the biggest thing that holds back people in building their dream and making their dream come true is money. I think people put too much power to the money component. Don't get me wrong. I know it does take money. And again, you would never spend money like I did, but
I wouldn't.
Charles never would. I have to say, this woman knows everything about the business, my personal life. She could do anything to me that she wanted to, because she's got the codes and everything. Like, I totally trust her, but she's also very frugal with my money, which I appreciate. But sometimes I still have to call, we're just going to spend the money.
But I like to say that point to people too, because could we have done it my way? Yeah, we could have. We could have, gone and got everything secondhand. We could have done, things that we paid people to do. We could have done ourselves. Would it have gone the same way? Not necessarily. It probably would have been a slower process, but I would have been more comfortable with it if it was my money. So it's not that you can't do it in a more frugal fashion, but we had to go. Right?
Yeah, we had to go because we did.
Going, right? Yeah. So sometimes there's that balance of, risk versus reward. And I think with the money, it's the what ifs. What if I lose it? What if I don't make it? What if somebody else doesn't want to come see me? What if I make a fool out of myself? The what ifs in life will kill you if that is all you focus on. What if my dream doesn't work? Well, what if anybody's dream doesn't work?
That's right.
What if,
at least you're out there doing it.
Yeah. What if what's the iPhone guy? What's his name?
iPhone guy.
Yeah. The guy who made Apple.
Oh, Steve Jobs.
I love him. What if he said, oh, I probably can't do this. I may as well call it a day. Well, none of us have iPhones then.
That's right.
So there's always going to be what ifs in everything you do, whether it's risk, whether it's money, whether it's making a fool of yourself. Maybe it's feeling silly. Maybe you feel like you don't know how. All of those pieces will be there for anything that you really care about.
Yeah,
it's just a matter of figuring out, okay, so how do I move forward from that? How do I make the dream a passion, a reality, and make it a goal versus just something that's sitting there, right?
And everything Carolyn said, it's so true. And as you're moving through that, this is the best part. If you continually add action to your dream that you were doing, the path in the dream is outrageous. And I'm a goal maker. Like, I write down goals, I have the pictures, and then I close the book for the year. Like, I always believe in making them, but then I don't go back to them because I made them. They exist, but I don't keep looking at them. And it's funny and it's great for the fact that if you continually looked at it, you would be so overwhelmed, you would never move forward because it's too overwhelming to step into, right? Totally. But if you close the book and you just keep putting that action to it, you look at after a year and you're like, oh my gosh, it's bigger than I thought it could have ever have been. Like, this company alone, it is mind-blowing that we were like nothing. And we were in the whole 300,000 and we had all of those deaths. And then you're a global company who's helping our beautiful facilitators globally around the world with their support and training. It's fun. It's like, it's cool. I couldn't have wrote that down. Because your brain doesn't even think. That's why it's so cool. When you take the action to the dream, you have no idea the next pathway that's going to open for you until you literally take the action to move your dream forward.
Do you remember I remember sitting there trying to think up what the name was going to be.
Of our company? Yeah, yes, I do remember at the Egg Society.
Yeah, in my little nookie
cubicle thingy.
And we were just sitting there kind of putting down different things and connection. We really like connection, connection, equine. I'm like, does people know what equine means? It was, I remember.
That's right.
So it went all the way from just the first step was just figuring out a name. What are we going to call this thing?
Hard.
So time.
And then we did the name wrong.
And then we did spiritual equine connection. We had to change it anyway, but
because
it worked for the society anyhow.
It did, but we had to get rid of the word spiritual. Why? People were thinking we were having church service, which again, I love spiritual anyways, but that's not why we called it spiritual equine connection. Yeah. So, but no, our target market was not getting what we were putting down in the name.
And Calgary Board of Education, stuff like that was a little bit weird. But we went all the way from the first question, like the hard question that we were stuck on was, what are we going to call it?
Yeah.
To where we are now is, which country did we expand to?
Yeah, right.
Like, it's really cool and that was never even on
the docket
at all. That was on no list. That was not in your dream board. That was just as we move forward. When you do have a passion for something, people feel that passion. They want to be a part of that passion. And then different paths open up for you on the way. And it's humbling. There are many times in business, well, in any dream in life, you will be humbled. As far as, you can't get big in your head. And that's
the horses, they never let you.
But just as being an entrepreneur in the first place, there are times that cleaning houses is not off the board. Taking a hostessing job is not off the board, because you just be humbled. That's your purpose. That's your passion. You do what you got to do to get there. And I love that Rach commented on here too, because she's done kind of the same thing. You do what you got to do. You learn what you got to know. As she says, 7 years later, here she is changing lives daily. If you want the dream, if the passion's there, you can't look at every single thing that happens that's a problem as a reason to stop.
No,
because it's not. It's just the next question you have to get over. Then the first one's picking the name. What's the next one? And they just kind of grow from there.
Hey, we got Kathy and we got Lisa on. Yes. Yay. Oh, and Lisa, we're going to see you next week. Even a conference. Like now we put on a yearly conference. It's like, what?
So weird.
That was just never a part of it. That's why it's so amazing. If you commit to the dream, it's committing to yourself. That is really the bottom line. If you commit to yourself and you stay accountable to yourself, and you only stay in those areas that help you to move forward. Because if you're hanging along out with those Debbie Downers or Donald Downers, I don't even know if that's a saying, but it sounded okay to me because I think it had to rhyme. They don't help you to move forward. Although I do have to tell you, this is another part of me being an entrepreneur. I don't know about for yourself, but when people tell me it can't be done, I'll say, watch. I don't say that to their face, but when so many people did not believe in this, my family, my friends, they're like,
we had people come and tell us that we needed a man to run our business so that we had a little bit of clout.
Yeah. Like go away, cowboy man.
Yeah. Be gone with you. And that was definitely one of those ones like, watch us.
Yeah. I love when people, or they take away something from me because that has happened before too, where you can't be here anymore with your horses because of this and this. I'm like, okay, so I'll find something else. Because see, that's the problem. The problem is you can't be here, but what's the opportunity? So if you kind of turn your mind, your thinking around, when you get something that hits you, you want to take the certification course. Money's the problem. What's the opportunity in taking it? And there's somebody who will help you to be able to do that. I don't know how it works. All I just know for all my life, and since I've been in diapers, been an entrepreneur, when you want something and it's who it is that you are, you will find the way to make it roll. And then the next step comes along.
It's not going to fall into your lap.
No,
it just won't.
Well, we tried meditation. Well, you've tried.
I tried once. It didn't go
well. It's just, I remember sitting at the end of my bed doing that cross-legged thing.
Yeah.
And again, just really picturing to the universe. But I hear things that are happening in the house.
I was going to say, you did it with the horses that time at Carrie's place. Remember?
Oh, and I was actually very relaxed.
Very well. I was facing a clock. That was the worst thing you could ever look at. We're supposed to be quiet and mindful.
And what was it? Drums?
And bowls. The singing bowls. And it was very mellow. And the horses would come around and they would touch you. And it was quite lovely. But all I could see and hear was this freaking clock in front of my face. So that did not work for me for the Zenny vibe. But now I know that about myself. And if I ever try to go there again, I will not be facing a clock.
No, exactly.
You learn along the way.
I think it was 40 minutes. So, I mean, think if you're not into enjoying that space of me time, that would be a long 40 minutes.
It was.
Yeah.
It was. But I
Yeah.
could see everybody else loved it. It was just I was facing the wrong direction.
Hey, do any of you have any questions about maybe something in your own life problem and what the opportunity could be? It's always fun.
And even, you know what, that's another thing too, is not being, that goes with the humble thing. Ask for help. It sucks sometimes to ask for help. And sometimes you have to get help from places that you didn't want to ask. But you never know when sometimes they might come through for you, or people might have a different idea that you had never thought of before, or something else could just adjust or change in your life just from reaching out for help to the right people to be able to move forward in what you're looking for as well. So don't be afraid to ask for help sometimes.
Darn tootin' galootin'. And, you know, I think that's the best part, even when you're searching out there for what it is that your purpose is, your goal, your dream with a horse. Because I think in the horse industry, there can be quite a variety of different things, but listen to who your people are who are running their certifications, their businesses, what they've gone through, because there's nothing easy. Like if anyone says, oh yeah, just do this and you will make this much money, always know that's not true. You always have to have action to go with it. And we have a little gift for you today.
Yeah, we do. Well, which is a good way to start the action is to plan the action, right?
Yeah.
So this is oh geez, I'm gonna say it wrong. Seeds to Dreams.
I think so.
I think that's
like
what it's called. Anyway, it's like a workbook kind of thing, but it's kind of nice and light, but it's just getting that dream into place, like pen and a paper. So you can print it out for yourself. And it's a great way to organize. Why do you want to do this? What is it about maybe working with horses that is lighting your fire? Why do you want to move? Because your why is a huge piece of your dream and your foundation. Because if you look at it and you're like, to make money, it's not going to be it. It's not going to be it, because you can make a lucrative living doing
absolutely.
And it doesn't matter what your dream is. There was a guy I met once. He was like, I always wanted to be a garbage man growing up. I did. I looked at them. I thought they were such cool guys. And he's a garbage man.
That.
He makes real good money doing it that way. So that worked out really nicely.
Colin Huckstead.
Yeah,
that's garbage, multi-millionaire ski,
and on the entrepreneurial side, and loves what he's doing still. Like there's lots of ways. It doesn't have to be money can't be your first priority with it. It has to be the thing that falls into place because people can see your passion and your why for what you do. And that's how you make money at something, is when you're good at it.
Yeah.
Right.
Darn tootin'.
That's kind of how it rolls through. But anyway, this journal will really help you along planning out what does that dream look like, to kind of start formulating that goal of what it is that you're going to do. What's the action involved to be able to move forward with your dream?
So how do they get it?
I don't know. I think dream is a good word. So I want you to type in dream if you are wanting this Seed to Dream workbook. Seed to Dream.
I like Seed to Dream. But it would make sense because you would plant the seed and the seed groweth with what? With sun, a shina, and water. So it's got to be in the right circumstances. So that's why it's good.
The funny part is that I know that there's like a little seed sprouting on the cover of it. Now, my brain, it's quite possible it completely renamed what it is just because I saw the seed and that's what my head says. So we'll see what it's actually called when I send it out to you guys, because it's quite possible I saw a seed in it and it's the dream one that I just remade up the name. So
it's okay. It will all work because it's again, I think there's so much power when you literally take the pen and put it on paper, because it's like it reiterates everything that you're thinking and feeling. And then you've got, this is me. This is what I'm going to do, because you got it all written out. So I think it's pretty powerful.
Yeah. And getting your first steps going into how you get there, right? Because that's all you need is one step.
One seed.
Yep. That's it. And then it starts moving forward.
Exactamentos.
Yeah. So we got a couple of people putting dream in there. That's perfect. I should have put seed just for my own amusement.
Well, yeah, that would have been hilarious.
Yeah, and then it comes back and it's like,
but what if they spelled it wrong?
Well, I just do it anyway.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not an automated thing. I have to do this.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Sounds good then.
So hopefully that helps you guys out a little bit today. It's true. The dream is not going to be easy. It just isn't.
So it's so worth it. Like,
it's rewarding.
I don't know. Like, you only have one life. You only have one little bit of time on this earth, and to do something that you're just so passionate about and that you care so much about. I have to say, my last breath, I know for me on this earth, whether it be today or 5 years or 20 years from now, is going to be, yeah,
we done good.
did good,
Yeah.
because it's a pretty powerful way to make a living, to be so self-satisfied in something that really does help a human being make a change. Well, and
It's-
horses too.
And I was just
Helps
going
them
to
have the
say,
purpose.
and we were discussing this with our last group that was in, is that part of our purpose in all of this is to get some education out about horses and what they actually are. And it's our job. We are crusaders for the horse now. And not like we're going to go out and be mean to people or nasty about it, but it's our job as we get to know more to protect them, to help people to know more. And that's why you'll see in a lot of the lives, it's just knowledge about horses, because we want the world to know. That's part of our passion. Again, our dream has grown so that we are having more people knowing more about horses and taking their welfare into account too. So there's extra pieces that add to your dream as you move forward as well.
Always do.
And it's pretty nice to get up in the morning and know you are very proud of what you do.
Absolutely.
It's a nice thing. Yeah.
So keep on dreaming, people, because you deserve it. You deserve to have your own unique dream, because you're unique. And if it includes horses, well, yippee-ki-yay. Then you're in for a ride of a lifetime.
Yep, that's exactly right. I went right to Die Hard when you said yippee-ki-yay. I was like, yeah, we're getting hardcore on this now. Anybody who's seen it knows what I'm talking
That's right. I do know too. Okay.
But have a fabulous week, everybody. We will see you. I think we're on next week as well.
CC?
One other little thing to mention, if you haven't seen it yet, we do have a Facebook group going. Right.
I'm sorry. Working with horses, changing lives.
Yes.
And this group it's just going to be fun and filled with knowledge and horses and the great stuff for welfare, the stories, videos, business training, anything. It doesn't matter who you're certified with, if you're not certified at all. It's just going to be a beautiful, refreshing group that is going to help all of us globally around the world move forward in our passions of the pony pones.
Exactly. And that's another way that we are helping and get that welfare piece out there too. So if you guys would like to join that one, make sure you go check that out. The name again is
Working with Horses, Changing Lives.
That's exactly right. So if you can't find it, put a question in here and I'll be happy to send you the link as well. But have a fabulous week. We'll see you guys next week. And keep on dreaming, people. Move forward, take the actions. Yes. And we'll help you out with sending you that journal too. And now I'm calling it a journal.
She just keeps changing.
Yeah, it's Dream Seed Journal.
Sounds like a funny name though that we would use.
I don't know if it
Dream
is.
Seed Journal. I don't know, people.
No.
Let us know what you think of it.
The more I think of it, the more I think I'm wrong. But that's okay. There's a seed on the front. You'll know you have the right thing.
Talk to you later.
Bye, everyone.